We got some breaking news. SVB Financial filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in New York. This just literally happened within the last 3 minutes as you were speaking. Our next guest, we should say, was on the show exactly 1 week ago when news was breaking about Silicon Valley, its bank, the impending demise. At that time, his initial assessment was that the FBC situation was potentially dangerous. I want to talk to you more about that. Now we've got the bankruptcy. I don't think the bankruptcy unto itself is dangerous, but where do you think we are? I want to sort of pull this forward. Peter Orszag is here as the CEO of a financial advisory at Lazard, of course, former director of the Office of Management and Budget under President Obama. But First Republic. Yep. Is there a firewall? Do you think we're playing dominoes? Where are you in terms of, we were looking at Comerica, KeyCorp, PacWest, Western Alliance. What do you think is about to happen here?
Well, first, what happened yesterday is not quite 1907, but it is still, I think, a shot in the arm of confidence in terms of significant deposits being moved into First Republic. But here's the problem. Writ large, the regional banks have relied on a business model that relied on uninsured deposits. Right. And so I think here's what needs to happen at this point. The government needs to make explicit what I think a lot of people are assuming, which is that for the foreseeable future, uninsured deposits don't exist. Everything's insured. Now, they can't do that technically.
They don't have the power to do it. So what do you do?
What you can do is you can come out and say, we are going to propose legislation to do that. And in the meanwhile, we anticipate that if there were any other problems, we are going to do the same thing. In other words, signal ahead of time.
And do you think there will be bipartisan support for that kind of protection? Because invariably it creates another form of moral hazard. I mean,
I don't think so.
You don't think what?
I don't think it creates moral hazard. The moral hazard argument that depositors are supposed to be diligencing their banks, I think, is mostly bogus. Most of that responsibility.
The moral hazard is on the executives who then may take remarkable risk with depositors' money.
Okay, but at that point, what we need is equity and bondholders who are paying attention, and regulatory and supervisory roles that are doing their job. And that's the other piece. There is going to be a lot more regulation and supervision of regional banks.
Okay, let me ask you, and I don't know if this is going to be a provocative question. It's going to be unpopular what I'm about to say. I love the idea of community banks, and I love the idea of regional banks. I love the idea of the connection that they have and their ability to lend and do things for the community. There is an argument, an economic argument, that actually we have way too many banks in this country, that we actually shouldn't have, hundreds of banks, that maybe we should have a handful of banks from a just both pure efficiency perspective and actually the ability to protect the deposit base and everything else. You look at Canada and other places. What do you think of that?
Well, I think you're mixing two things. One is most of the number of those banks are not the mega regionals that we're really talking about.
Yep, we're talking about the small guys.
The really small guys. I think, look, the other question is, and this is both a political and an economic argument, is do you want to wind up with a banking system that is entirely the GSIBs, just the major banks? That's what you're talking about.
Well, that's a question.
But that's not just an economic argument. There's a political.
No, I know. That's why I'm asking you the question.
Oh. Well, I think the fact of the matter is if we don't wind up insuring all deposits, and even if we do, you're going to see continued flow of deposit concentration in the GSIB. So gradually you're going to wind up at least evolving towards the world that you're highlighting.
You know, there's going to be a lot of blame that's going to go around. We were talking about this in the last hour when you look at SVB. How do you analyze it? Do you say this was the fault of management, obviously? There's questions about the Fed. There's questions about the supervisors in town. There's the San Francisco Fed board itself. Some people have looked at actually some of the venture capitalists who were the depositors who were screaming on Twitter, "You'll get your money out," before the fire was the fire. When we look back at this, where's the blame going to lie?
Well, the saying, success has 1,000 fathers and failure is an orphan. I think we're kind of in this mode where everyone's going like this. The short answer is there were multiple failures here. I don't want to pontificate on exactly the allocation of them. There's going to be a careful assessment of that, which is what should happen. But clearly there were multiple different causal factors here, not just one.
Okay, you're Jay Powell. This is all happening.
Yep.
You have to do something next. You have to say something next week. Do you go 25 basis points? Do you not? If you don't, what does the market actually think? Do they go, oh, my goodness, things are much worse than we thought? And is bad news bad news? Is bad news good news?
So I want to back up. There is and we talked about this before. There's I think, in protecting against bank runs and protecting financial stability, there is an argument for going hard and going fast and going big. In the price stability mandate, I don't think there is that argument. There should be instead a gradualism test and see, especially because there's a ton of ambiguity about what's causing inflation today. And I'll have a paper out on that with Robin Brooks of the IIF next week.
Okay.
So given that ambiguity, it makes much more sense on the price stability front to kind of go slowly and pause. Myself,
you say pause to zero. I mean, pause to do nothing.
Pause to zero. I hope he, given what the ECB did, maybe that's going to be particularly challenging for him. So I hope it's at most 25, and then, like the ECB started to hint, maybe a pause thereafter.